Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry for the ugly lights, but this is the best that I could get at this time of the day. My house is pretty dark. Also, I'm on my way soon to go watch the Odyssey. I had a spare hour and I figured I would try to record these videos to get some thoughts out on a topic that's been on my mind for the past few months. This might be TMI. The topic we'll be discussing today is sex, dating, and intimacy and abstinence. While I was digging into the web to search for information and make clarity of the experience that I was going through, to my surprise, I could only find mere religious perspectives, which is not where I'm coming from at all. So I figured I would hop on here, overshare, and hopefully help someone in my same position. Mind you, I'm not gonna be use the word celibacy for the sake of this video. I'm gonna refer to it as abstinence because that's what it is in my specific case. And although I couldn't find much information on the topic of abstinence in 2026 and the rise of abstinent women, I could find a lot of interesting insights on topics related and parallel to it, such as the male loneliness epidemics, the decline of birth rates, and the nightmare that is dating in 2026. So let's get started. So what happened? I decided to go abstinent back in February 2026. This is not my first time going cold turkey on dating and on sex. I've done that before. I have been pretty curious and active and sexually open since being very young. I would say around 14, 15 years old. And you know, when you're young, it's fun. You don't really know what you're doing. You're just playing around with your body. You don't have much knowledge around this. So you kind of just go with the flow. You fuck around with it, you trust the other person, and you let them lead the way. So as a result, I've been dating around, I've been in relationships, I've been in situationships, I've been involved in most things you can possibly imagine by now. One thing about my brain is that he has this funny thing of overanalyzing everything that is around me, every behavior, every pattern, everything that I see around me. Observe it very carefully. I'm an observer at heart, and this way that my brain has ruined many things for me because I'm incapable and unable of not seeing what's happening in front of me. And as I said, this has ruined many things for me, one of them being dating, because most of the men that I entertain, most of the men that I encounter, I can confidently say since the get-go what type of people they are, what they want, if they have the best intentions, or if they just want a casual type of situation. I don't have any problem with it. We're all been there before. We've all been at a stage where we were just dating around for fun, to just take the edge off without necessarily looking for something serious. In the few years that I spent dating, specifically since I was 20 and my frontal lobe started to develop, I started putting together the pieces of the puzzle, and I started to realize, as I said, some patterns that I didn't notice before. One of them being that since we're very young, men have these hypersexual desires around sex and around women that society teaches them to indulge in rather than control. And women have learned that in order to have their needs met, needs in terms of validation, in terms of acceptance, in terms of love, in terms of care and affection, we learn pretty soon that if we're looking for our desires to be met in another person, in this case a man, we have to be willing to put out, because men desire sex with women, women desire love. So we have learned somewhere along the way that this exchange can be a fair trade for all of us to have what we want and all of us be happy. It's been a silent agreement for many, 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 many centuries, and I think it's installed somewhere in the brain of every woman that if we want to be accepted, if we want to be loved, if we want to be cared for, we have to be willing to put out. There's not a case or a hypothesis or a scenario where this doesn't happen, and I figure has been the case for most of your situationships or relationships as well. As I said, has been a silent agreement that has carried us through generations and generations and generations up until today. What I've come to realize though is that has become an even and unbalanced exchange of energy for the most part. And what I also realize is that a lot of the time, our desire as women to be loved and accepted has been used as a manipulation technique from men in order to get what they want. Because they know that we fundamentally want different things, they've learned to sharpen their technique and mirror our desires in a way that they can give us just enough of what we want in order for us to open up to them. And I think that when you're young and stupid and desperate for validation, it's easy to fall in the trap. I'm not saying that that's the case for every person and every situation and every relationship. Please, I'm not just gonna sit here and not gonna say it's not all men. If this doesn't apply to you, please don't even bother watching this video. A good man, a good solid man with good values and morals and integrity wouldn't be annoyed by knowing the reality about other men. They know they're like that. You know, men have friends. They know most of their friends are like that. So please. But yeah, as I grew older, I realized that most of the men were just mirroring me and playing the part long enough to get what they want. And it's very easy to detect. I mean, I can say it now, but back in the days, it was very easy to fall for it because I have this deep desire to be liked, to be accepted, and to be validated by someone that I would believe every sliver of bullshit about a future promise, a future happiness together, some cheap compliments, the desire only to see me at 2 a.m. in the morning because they were busy all day, too busy to text, too busy to call, too busy to do anything. But then I would gladly take the booty call at 2 a.m. in the morning and show up to an almost already undressed man just waiting to get laid. But growing older and witnessing with a little sus, with a little doubts, every man that I started dating, you know that the mask falls off quite quickly when your boundaries are firm enough. Because when someone likes you just for the packaging and not for the product, you'll see a kind of avoidant behavior in engaging with anything that they think is too intense compared to what they want or what they're willing to accept. So when you start showing your personality, when you start showing your expectations, when you start showing your intensity, when you start showing your character, your flaws, your bad days, your weak moments, you could quickly see the mask falling off. So what they were able to mirror in order to get what they desire out of you, in order to get you to open up, suddenly is not enough to keep you around. Suddenly you're being asked to be less. You're being told that you're too intense. You're being told that this is not the situation that they thought they were getting themselves into. They didn't think you were like that. They start telling you that they wish that they could go slower and things can unfold in due time. You know, there's many ways you can pick up that someone is just around for their benefits to be met. And this is partially why I've just gotten to this place where I am so sick of playing this game that I never subscribed to, I never accepted. I just found myself in this very polluted, filthy dating pool that in the end always only benefits men. How come? You look around, there's so many stunning women out there single, wishing to settle, wishing to get married, wishing to get something serious, and there's so many bums that are just trying to see how long it's gonna take them to just get you in bed. And you know what I also realized, so you know when people say that the body keeps the score, I started to realize that whenever I would get intimate at a stage or a point where I didn't feel exactly ready to, whenever there was a little bit of pressure, a little bit of insistence on the other side, later I would feel completely drained and depleted. And that's because the energy exchange there is not equal. When there's that even energy exchange between two people, even intimately, you feel living so much more peaceful and powerful and loved and just like a peace of mind. When you engage in all the wrong things with all the wrong people, you feel like you're being taken advantage of. You feel like you're being used. Even more lonely after. Have you ever been in bed with someone and later after you're all done and good to go, you feel more lonely than ever? Even if you've just been intimate with someone that is supposed to be the most close thing in the world between two people, and you feel more lonely than ever. This is not normal. I'm tired of people portraying this situation as being normal. I refuse to accept a man that is unwilling to respect and care for my body and my person in public or outside of the bedroom, is interested only in what he can physically get out of me. This is absolute bullshit. Like, I refuse morally, politically, socially, romantically, I refuse to settle for this game. I refuse to partake in this game. Even if this means being alone forever, I'd rather take that than be with someone that is not even listening to what I say, but is just listening the amount of information that he needs in order to mirror it back to me and get what he wants. Not happening, not here. Since doing that, I've been the most peaceful I've ever been in my life. When I have some men on my roster, when I have someone that I'm casually seeing, when I have any type of situation going on, I notice my mood, my productivity, my energy, and my just mindset going down the drain, getting filthy, getting very, very ugly. I get more nervous. I don't get anything done. I'm always reminiscing about things that they've said, if they really meant it, what type of game are they playing, because you cannot just relax when you have a man in your life, because you never know what type of game they're up to. I hate this because as a woman, I uphold other people to my same morals and values. I used to think, at the very least, men and women navigated dating and just communication and transparency in general with the same integrity, because we as women, unless we get a specific benefit out of a man, we are always going to be honest. If after a day we're not into them, we're just going to say, hey, this is what is happening. If it's fine with you, that's okay. If not, let's part ways, and good luck to both of us. Or you're in a stage where you're not looking for anything serious, you're gonna say it pretty early on that you're not really looking to progress with it and you just want to enjoy it for the time being and for the fun of it. Like, we do have these conversations. Most of the women that I know cannot fathom dragging people along. It's so much more beautiful when everyone is aware of what is going on and both people know where they stand. These men, unfortunately, they will do anything and say anything for you to entertain them, for them to have a chance to sleep with you. And that's where the whole finessing a man or manipulate a man, or women can get whatever they want out of a man, that's why it's true, because men will bend forward and backwards for you to even look at them. It's unreal the amount of bullshit you guys are able to tell in order to get in a girl's pants. Again, since going cold turkey, I have watched a purification happening on top of my head, inside my body, inside my mind, in my skin, in just my mood. Every day I wake up, my phone is as dry as it gets, and I am just existing. How peaceful is that? You cannot understand. You don't have to watch your back. You don't have to worry for these men to be out playing with other women and receiving the "hey girly" text. You don't have to worry about these men embarrassing you in public. All the energy, all the filthy energy that you sent out entertaining all the wrong people, looking for love in all the wrong places, you're finally reclaiming it back. I wish everyone could try abstinence for at least 2 months. You will watch your discernment rise to levels that you've never witnessed before. You will be able, whenever you get back into dating, whenever you find yourself in front of a man again, you will watch things under such a different light. You will be so much more firm and straight and rational and less easy to manipulate. You will have so much time during abstinence to think back about all the relationships, encounters, and situations, and you will be able to analyze them in a very different way. The thing that they said, how they act, how long they were taking to reply to messages, the inconsistency between actions and words, how much love bombing did you experience before sleeping with them, and then after, how did their behavior and the attention that they had towards you change after you've slept with them. Just watch the timing of everything, and you will realize so many things about how men play the game, and arguably you'll never want to get back into dating again, because it's a nightmare, because it's a joke. Most of the women that I know that went abstinent, they dreaded going back into dating, especially the first letdown after you come back from abstinence. You will be enraged at the first person that tries to play you. You will feel so disrespected to levels that you fear you might end up in jail. So for me, the biggest shift has definitely been in discernment, clarity, and intuition. I am able to tell straight away someone's intention. I'm able to tell what game are they playing. I just listen to my guts, and at this point I don't even need to overanalyze and just pick apart everything they say, everything they do, because my instinct, my body just feels straight away. My body has a repulsion or attraction mechanism now. I see a scumbag coming from a mile away and I just send it back where they come from. I don't care. And also, you learn to appreciate the relationship and the love that you have around you so much more. You will think about your first relationship. If you had like a healthy, successful relationship in the past, the love being poured into you from your friends, from your family, from all the people around you, you will feel so whole and you will have so much more appreciation for that and for the love that you are willing to give in the first place, because all the love that you've always sent out without getting it reciprocated, babe, that's you. Babe, that is you. That love is always going to be there in your life because that's a reflection of you and who you are and how much you're willing to give. If you move with integrity, love, loyalty, respect, transparency, and you just believe in the immensity of the union between two people, you're so much better than the games that are being played to try to get you. There's nothing wrong with not being able to be casual. There's nothing casual and nonchalant for me to be acting casual and nonchalant against my own will just to please some man and don't scare them away with my intensity. I refuse to engage in hookup culture, in casual culture. It's not because I'm desperate for commitment, but I believe that none of the women that is out there should be kept as an option for when it's convenient. And it's not that I want to see here and I want to play it all serious and say, oh, no, I'm waiting for marriage. I'm never going to have sex with a guy again. I'm just waiting for someone to come around correct and see me fully for the person that and accept me fully as well. I am so much more than my body, than my aesthetics, and I refuse to hide some parts of me so someone can feel more comfortable having to manage them. I'm just not playing that game anymore. And I think this is the issue for most of us women. We have such a desperate, longing need for love and care and affection and just a union with someone that loves the shit out of us. But the issue is that there are points in our life where more on the search, we are less happy alone. And these are exactly the points where we are most subject to manipulation, to lies, to love bombing, and to half-assed truths, because they see your weaknesses, they see what you need, and they try to trick you into believing that at some point you will get it, at some point it will be yours. They are the perfect person. You just have to be open to them, be available to them, and then one day far into the future, you'll have it. Well, guess what? With the right person, you'll never ever have to question their intention. So if you find yourself questioning someone, doubting their behaviors, or wishing that they would do more to show you that they like you, that they want you, and they want to be committed to you, then you are dating the wrong person. The right person will never ever have you questioning if they really like you or not. They will never want you to be uncertain, not even for a second. So now it's been about 6 months, I would say, of abstinence. And what did I learn? What did I experience so far? And what am I struggling with? I think there's some struggle. It's not all fairies and rainbows. The most important part is probably that I have no desire to be dating again. I found this bubble so peaceful, so pure, filled with so many beautiful things, that I completely refuse letting a man suck the soul out of me one more time. I have a profound undesire to be approached and a profound undesire to be intimate again. Given the experience that I've been through, my sex drive and my libido since I was very young has already dropped exponentially up until I decided to go abstinent, to the point that having sex was not even enjoyable to me anymore, because I did not have that craving and that desire because of the whole situation going around with the person in the first place. And to my surprise, a lot of things came back. So as I was talking about my energy, my productivity, my discernment, but my drive is not something that has really come back. And this is a very vulnerable information to share, but that's the reality of it. So I'm just gonna speak about it. I am not concerned, but I wonder if it ever is gonna come back. And a lot of people say with the right person, it might. But yeah, the more I spend my time thinking and analyzing, watching the men around me, I really have no desire for just plain intimacy. I'm such a person that everything goes through my mind before it goes through my body, and I'm a sapiosexual at heart. So for me, it's always been kind of easier than for other women to spot an asshole. You can mirror only so much. And if you lack the attributes to hold a conversation with me and to be at eye level with me, I'm gonna be able to tell pretty quickly. I think my libido just gets turned on when I have a very deep mental connection with someone. It doesn't really have to be romantic, it doesn't really have to be sentimental, it doesn't have to be emotional, but I'm gonna need a strong mental attraction. And up until now, given the level of people out there, I'm not gonna be out there in the streets for a very long time. I also noticed that the more I spent abstinent, the more angry I got at the situation. I hear so many men on the internet, in real life, blaming all the issues in the world, the decline of birth rates, the male loneliness epidemic, and a bunch of other social issues being blamed into women and how difficult women have got. And I just find this so stupid. How are you gonna sit here and complain about women outplaying you at your own game? How are you gonna sit here and blame women for just getting smarter and cut through your bullshit and see just straight through you? You are just complaining about a new generation of women that is the most financially settled, the smartest, the most accomplished it's ever been. A generation of women that you cannot control, that you cannot manipulate, that you cannot lie to. I'm sick and tired of men playing like they're these hurt little men that just live in this world of evil, strong, undomable, unrecognizable women that don't want traditional values anymore. They don't want a traditional life. They just think about their career. They just want men for money and for their own benefits. You guys have played this game with zero integrity, zero transparency whatsoever. And now that women are outdoing everything that you do, they're not available anymore. They're resisting your system that you guys have set up. Everything is turning on you, and that's our fault. Make it make sense. It's not that women do not desire the same things that they used to desire, but you've made it such a nightmare. You've made it so impossible for us to be loved and accepted just as we are. Always demanded more. You always expected us to do more, and now it's our fault. Now that we're not interested anymore, you suddenly want a family. You suddenly want a future. You suddenly cannot find a woman. So what? Women are not desperate anymore? Is that our problem? That we're not desperate to be sitting around and accepting anything and settling for anything. Women have want to commit, to marry, to have a family, and to just stay at home wives for generations. And you bash and trash and abuse whole generations of women. My mother's generation, my grandmother's generation, my great-grandmother's generation. This is the first generation that is steering down the patriarchy. Only very system set up to benefit men. You don't like it because you don't get any benefit out of it. Men will sit there and talk about opportunistic women and gold diggers. Men are the most opportunistic category I've ever met in my life. Look how men behave around other men to get their validation. Look men around their boss. Look men around women they want to sleep with. Talk to me about opportunism. Talk to me about being a gold digger. When men are the first to admit that if they were women, they would sleep around for money. I developed such a strong repulsion from men because I see them as they are, and they are so different from women. On the other hand, I gain so much respect for women, how we move through the world, the transparency to communicate what we're really going through, where we really stand. With other women, with men, with anyone. Men on the other side, they would do anything, they would say anything, and they won't care about the consequences. I had a friend, she's never slept with anyone. She's 28 and she always wanted to wait for the right person, and when she was seeing this guy, she was firm that she didn't want to sleep with him. Yes, they were making out and stuff, but she was firm that a no it's a no. We all know a no it's a no, and men should know as well. So she has also told the guy that she was a virgin and she was not looking to lose it anytime soon because she wanted to wait around for the right person and for commitment. Since he heard this, he took it as a challenge and he lied to her that when the intimate situation came, he pressured her into having sex. And that's what they did. And guess what happened after? The next day, he completely ghosted her. Completely. Never seen the man again. A woman would never do something like that. A woman would think to herself, okay, this person is very serious. This is such an important thing to them. I would never take that away from them if I have no real intentions with this person. A man is able to do that, wake up the day after, go hang out with his mates and just tell them all the story and just gonna have a big fat laugh about that. And over there, on the other side, a girl is traumatized. So to be very honest with you, I lost all respect I had left, very little, for men. I just don't want them around me. I don't want them in my life because they cannot lead proper relationships with integrity. They never develop the emotional awareness and the emotional tools to do that, and even if they did, they don't act accordingly. So generally, I don't want them around me. I don't want anyone that behaves like that around me, let alone being committed to someone like that. They're just volatile like that. They're impulsive. They don't think before they act. They don't think before they react. It's just, they're so different from us. They're so different from me. I live a life so filled with beautiful women that just hold the same standards and morals that I do, and generally want the best for one another. It's gonna be a generation of, yes, new women, but also women that make community. Trust me when I say we'll witness a war where men are pushed to the edge of society more and more because women just do not want them, because they never lead with the right intentions. So yeah, these are all my thoughts. I think I got a little bit fired up over here. It's such a topic that is close to my heart. It just breaks my heart. Like, most of the suffering that I see around is happening to other women, and I egoistically just want to take it away. I think the new generation of women really need to learn how to assess the situations, especially in dating, right, before making any move, because it's really tough out there. I wish I didn't have to learn the hard way, but I guess we all have to, and hopefully the clarity and the reality of it will hit every single woman out there. Hopefully, if you watch this video, you start to ask yourself the right questions, and hopefully it will spark some analysis and assessment that you can do on your personal relationships as well. Guys, I'm gonna go off to see the Odyssey, and I wish you a good day.